Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Thought we'd play around with flowers again today. I was playing around, cleaning cupboards, woohoo, and came across a heap of tissue paper or sewing pattern paper. And while I was cleaning out cupboards, I found stuff in the back of them, or as in the drawers that had slipped back, and I found this. You know how we just tuck away things and all the rest? Now, this is from when you get a box of flowers, the stuff that's round all their paper and all the rest. And I thought, yeah, I'll put that aside, you never know. Well, I found it. And I've been playing around with these, so I want to try them with these. These are great little flowers for probably just the fronts of your journals. They're going to flatten and squash if they're in your pages. And if your pages are anything like mine, then they definitely, like, hang on, pull this over. Here's one I finished the other day. Well, I've got a few bits and bobs to go in. But if something like this is in my pages, they're going to flatten. So if I move that there, sit that there, you can see where they're all sitting in. I always do chunky ones. And if I then put a closure on it, this one's not going to anyway because it's spiral bound, it's still going to squash whatever's inside. And these are nice little delicate flowers that take all of 5 seconds to do. So for me, these sorts of ones. Now, here's the next journal that I plan to start working on. It's just an old book that I picked up the other day. So I have literally just started to gut it. But I like the cover. The cover is nice and dark. I'll do something to the spine, fabric or lace or something like that. But these sorts of things on your cover, really, now that's a really large one. Here's a slightly smaller one. They look beautiful on covers. A few other bits and bobs, maybe some stenciled gesso work down it in a flourish. I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here. Some leaves going down, something trailing down, and they make a beautiful cover. And these are out of remnants that I had left over from a sewing pattern that I'd purchased from an op shop for all of 50 cents, as you do. And literally those ones were, the pattern had been cut out. So I've chopped out a few more and I'll very quickly show you. Now, I find with these ones, I've used pinking shears. If you're the type of person who struggles with my circle's not absolutely perfect, use pinking shears. Use pinking shears or use, I don't know, your little decorative scissors. That's what I wanted. Decorative scissors, something like that, which means that your circle doesn't have to be perfect. So if you struggle with, I need perfection, and that's fine, some of us do, then use something like pinking shears or decorative scissors or stuff like that, so that then your eye is not always drawn to the fact that your circle might have a little bit off it or whatever else, because it is very hard to cut a perfect circle. Now, I'll use templates if I'm cutting circles. I'll either punch them. If I want larger ones, I will literally pick up my glue bottle, sit it down, draw around it with my pencil, and then cut them out. If I'm concerned, they're still not going to be perfect. Or other times I'll just pick up my normal scissors and just chop around and make a circle. Quite often I'll draw a vague circle first. But if you're using decorative scissors, and well, here you go. I've cut some of this out with normal scissors. That's my circle. Does it look like a circle? But I'm not concerned about that. If you are, that's fine. Please don't feel, there's a right or there's a wrong or anything else. Just, as Tim Holt says, you do you. And it's probably the best wording ever for anything. We all get hung up on the right or the wrong way or anything else. There is no right or wrong. If it's going to bring you joy while you're doing it, it's right. Simple as that. Okay? That's all you need to remember. Chill. If it's bringing you joy, go with it. Okay? Don't have to be the same as everybody else. Just you do you. Right. So, I'll stop waffling. So, I've just cut out, because these are a few bits left on that sheet. So, I just sat there and kept cutting them out. I don't know how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there's another one. 10, 11. We'll do them all. All right. So, these are just random circles. And they were literally, I just picked up my pencil and drew a vague circle to try and get the most out of what was left in this sheet. But I'll just scrunch them up like so. Don't worry about your sizes. Ups and downs and smaller sizes, you can layer them if you want. I usually don't have the patience. Patience is probably not the right word. I usually, if I'm on a run, I'll just go with it. I don't really care which ones I pick up. I'm just using normal, all-purpose, wet, white glue. That makes sense. This one's a Couture Creations one, so it's an Australian-made one. I use it on all my things, whether I'm putting in pockets or anything else. So, and I found that that worked a treat with these. I was a little bit concerned with the tissue paper or sewing paper, whatever you want to call it, on whether it would go through, but it hasn't. So I've just pulled one of my scrunched up ones out, and I'll put a little dollop of glue, if I can get that out. Hang on a moment. I'll shove our little pin back down there till I can see glue coming out of that. And yeah, doesn't need much if it'll come out. Come on. Come on. All right, pull another one of these out. Again, I have no idea what size each one of these are, but I do like, see how sewing paper has shiny side and a matte side? I quite like the matte side up. That is just me. So if you see me turning them around, you'll know that's what I'm doing. If I'm thinking about it. If I'm not thinking about it, they'll go whichever side. So very carefully unroll these, because they will rip, because they are just very light. So I'm just sitting them in. Another one. Down through this one. This is what's going to take the most amount of time. It's just getting these back out. If you can get them with more writing on them, I think they look great. These ones were just the bits that were left over, so there's not that much writing left on these ones. But if I can find... See, now that one's got quite a bit of writing, so I'm going to leave him for about my top, just so that it shows a little bit more colouring in there. A little bit more. Do every now and again move it off your board, because it will occasionally soak through, and I've had a couple of them glue themselves to my base that I'm sitting them on. I quite like this. I love that big one. That really big one's just awesome, but he's probably too big for a lot of the journals that I do. So I need to catch them and go a little bit smaller. So this one was cut a little bit smaller. And we're just going to fluff them up as we go. And then it's a matter of whatever side. Now, what did we have in this? We had 11 or something, didn't we? So this one's quite full. It's really not going to make that much difference. I think the more layers they've got, they look really small. So I'm going to put him in there now so that we're starting to get this colour. And I'm going to go over that way. So I'm starting to get this little bit of, you know, black going through. A lot of my patterns, I love the cream, the brown patterns. Don't seem to have a lot of those. I found one in my drawer, and I reckon I've got six in there that are all just white. So, but I did, in amongst all mine, because I quite often pick them up at op shops when I'm floating around, I found a pink one. So we're going to do a pink one shortly. Oh, look. How awesome is that I've found that one for the end. Right. We're just going to ruffle it up. I'm sure we made these as decorations as kids. I'm sure we did. All right. So technically that's our little flower. I'm just going to give it a little bit of time to dry. But we can put a centre in there. There's lots of different centres you can put in there. This one has got an altered button and some stamen, which are these things. I've had it for years, never really used them. Found them again the other day, sat them on my desk thinking, if they're on my desk, I'll use them. And yeah, they've come up a treat. This one's even easier. It is literally just a brad, which of course holds them all together again. So I've got a jar of brads here. I think from memory a lot of these were Christmas, but we'll have a look. Didn't pull my other ones out. Let's just go with a red one in this. Just a prick mat. All that I use when I'm stitching in signatures. Give it a little bit of a twirl. Pop him in there. Now these are still a little bit wet. Flatten out. Split pin, brad, whatever. Think over here. I'm in Australia. We call them brads. So look at that. Just give them a little bit of a ruffle. How easy was that? There's something you can do ahead of time if you want. Find somewhere safe for them to sit. Otherwise you'll end up with flattened ones. But it's not going to be too bad if you do, because you'll just get it, pick it back up and do that. And you've got them ready to go. Now, I'm desperately wanting to try these. So, it's just that. I just cut a strip off and I've cut some circles. So let's have a look and see whether this will even work. I don't know whether it'll work. As I said, I just came across it because it was stuck in a drawer. And I've put it aside at some stage. I don't even know how many I cut. Let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did screw one up, and yes, it screws up. What do I say? 5, 6, 7. We can cut some more, can't we, on the top? So give them just a scrunch and see how they go, because I'm not quite certain. This has been in my drawer, as I said, and it doesn't seem to have a great deal of creases in it. So we'll see how we go. But I love the colour. Right, so starting. This one will definitely ooze through with my glue, so I'll just have to watch how I'm going. But I wanted to put it on this and not my clear board, my glass mat, because I haven't cleaned my glass mat. So it was just easier to run up and grab this mat from the other room. But we'll just lift it. You can see it coming up. All right. Oh, see, might not even glue. We might just have to go with a brad. I could use a fabric glue. How about I just sit them all in and we go with a brad then. So let's not glue it all. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, we're not going to glue those ones. We're just going to do a brad in them, which will hold them all together. Do I want a couple of smaller ones on the top of that? I'm thinking I might. So I'll put the glue away. So you just work things out as you go. Normal scissors right there. Let's have a look. And this cuts so beautifully. So I just want some little ones, don't I? Look how well it cuts. Cool. Right, So just some smaller ones. Quite small. You can see my circles are just teardrops. Teardrops, circles, whatever. And it literally glides through the scissors, so. Okay, let's have a look. We can make this really layered. Can anyone remember how many layers I had there already? Get rid of some of that. Do some wheel whittle ones. Like that. Oh, well, I'll do a real little one. Yep, that worked. All right, let's try those ones on the top. So it just shreds as I'm doing it. Right, have those ones over here. Scrunch those ones up. Let's have a look. I've got two there. I want you up that way. I've gone a bit skew-if, haven't I? Let's just go back more into the centre and into the centre. Let's put them all on. Let's just put them all on. What I'd like would be a pearl braid in this one. So, let's have a look. If I set that there, somewhere in the centre, oh, you live and learn. I'm just going to sit you there while I look for a pearl braid. So, let's have a look. Not those. Something like that. I'm getting large ones, but let's have a look. How about a black one? Black one in it would be nice, wouldn't it? So let's have a look at that. Go through before I lose that. Right, now let's just scrunch it up and see what happens. No? I actually quite like it. Not that. What do I want? I want that. So let's just have a look. I like that. What do we think? And yes, I know it's not a full circle. I think I like these ones better. But that works. That actually works. Right, so one more quick one. Look what I found. I had a pink one. So I'm just going to show you how I do these with my thing, and we'll do a button or something in this one as well. So once again, you can see that it's all, I'll move that, put you back down there where you belong. So they're already, no, it's not even cut out. How cool is that? Right, so what I tend to do, find my pencil, and I tend to just do that. It just gives me a rough guide, and then I'll cut two out at once. Right, so pinking shears. I'm just going to cut that up so that I can stay in line for you. and sit under there so that you can hopefully see. And again, I don't worry too much, but the pencil line that I've given myself just helps me as I'm going around, because it's just a me thing. I find I struggle when I'm using the pinking shears to keep my line of sight going round, if that makes sense. And the last one. So that's given us 6 layers already. We won't need many more. We'll do another line of them. Look, there's a bit there that I can do. And a little one to get all that wording. How's that? They're a great way to... Oh, wrong scissors. Let's put those ones back over there. And let's put that one back in here. There we go. Look at that. How's everyone been? Just slow down. How's that? I hope you've all had a wonderful week, and of 2 weeks, sorry. I've been a little bit vacant. Haven't really been here. Haven't done anything. Well, literally, I've been away. So I've had just over a week away. So, but we've literally been everywhere. My husband and I, we live in Victoria. I want some wording. We live in Victoria, so, and last Thursday, not just the Thursday gone, the Thursday before was our last day here. We then caught the 7 o'clock red eye up to Brisbane on the Friday morning. We then had some stuff to do in Brisbane, which is in Queensland, and then we drove up to Gympie. They've had some horrific floods up there lately, so we stayed in Gympie and then spent the next morning with whoever was open, going through those stores and buying whatever we could so that we could support them as much as possible. We then... Oh, and Gympie's beautiful. One of their main streets, I don't know if it's classed as their main street, which is called Mary Street, is the most beautiful street you will ever see. And the shops in there, it's just beautiful. But they were hit really bad in Mary Street. The water lines for these shops where they were now cleaning them up, the water line came over my head. It was just unbelievable. So yeah, so we went there. We then drove, so that was Friday night, stayed in Gympie. Saturday morning, got up early, had breakfast in Gympie, did a little bit of shopping there with those that were open, then drove up to Maryborough, which is the birthplace of the lady who wrote Mary Poppins. And, oh, their street lights, pedestrian lights, that are Mary Poppins. So the walk sign, which you know is usually that little green man, well, it's Mary Poppins, green Mary Poppins with her umbrella up. And the pedestrian stop sign is a red Mary Poppins with her umbrella down. I think I nearly got hit by so many cars trying to get a photo of these lights, pedestrian lights. That was the only reason I wanted to go to Maryborough. But I so wanted to see these lights, and they were well worth it. But I did find a couple of really cool antique shops there, and there was one antique shop there. I haven't got a card here with me at the moment. I can't remember what she was called, but she was the most lovely lady, and she found the most wonderful ephemera for me while I was there. And look at the little cigarette cards that I got from her. And I got so much from her. It was just wonderful. Got another bird album. Oh, hang on, that's here. Ooh. Yes, I'm sure my husband thought he'd lost me forever. Got this one, butterflies. Look. Picked up that from a whole heap of postcards Oh, the most beautiful, beautiful cabinet card photos from Tasmania, which is where we were originally from. So I've got those. And look at those. Aren't they just beautiful? And yeah, she was just wonderful. I will find her card before I do the next video and let you all know. Yeah, she's just amazing, this lady. So, yes, so we left Maryborough just after mid-afternoon and then drove to Bundaberg, which was another 3 hours or something up the road, and spent the night in Bundaberg so my husband could go to the Speedway, and then left there first thing the next morning and went to a market, but it was mainly produce, so didn't stay long there, and then drove back down to the Sunshine Coast where my sister lives and caught up with my sister in Marcoola. I haven't seen her for 8 years and she's like 2 states away, but I hadn't seen her for 8 years, so that was just awesome. And I got to catch up with her for a couple of hours before we jumped back in and did the 4-hour trip back down to the Brisbane airport. Got back into Victoria, into the airport here at, I don't know, 10:30 or something like that. By the time we'd got the bus back out to the car park and got back home, it was 10 to 12 at night, this is. Got home, had the kids waiting for us. Kids, they're 19, but, you know, had them waiting for us. Stayed up talking to them, bought them all presents, as you do. Husband went to bed. I stayed up till 2 o'clock so that I could unpack and then repack and pack all this sort of stuff. And then at 5 o'clock, we were back up and then in the truck and we were off on the road for work for the week and went over to South Australia. So by Tuesday, I couldn't tell you what time it was, what day it was, what state I was in. So we'd gone from Victoria to Queensland, back to Victoria, and then over to South Australia. I laughed to my husband, and I said to him, I said, oh, I don't know what time it is, what day it is, what state I'm in. And he looked at me and he said, I know what state you're in. He said, you're in the state of insanity. And I thought, yep, that's about where I was too, because just had no idea. I'd just been, so yes. So, and then we got home again Thursday night. So now I'm home, back to normal, hopefully, and back into all of this. But I did manage to finish off a journal, apart from, and you can tell that I was packing at 2 o'clock in the morning, because guess what? I forgot all my glues. Luckily, I had tiny little container and half a glue stick in the pencil case that I used for crop days, which I'd taken with me, and that was it. I had no fabric glue. I'd taken all this lace with me and purchased all this lace in Queensland when we were up there, and just took that out of one suitcase and put it straight into the other and couldn't use any of it. Didn't have the stapler, didn't have to staple lace on, didn't have glue, fabric glue, any of that sort of thing. And we made do. So the journal is finished, apart from all my lace that I now want to add to it. I'm really liking this pink one. Sorry, I'll shut up now. But I'm really, really liking this pink one. And I don't know how many we've got, how many layers, but we've just got oodles here. Oodles and oodles and oodles. But I'm really liking this one. Might have to put some pink in this journal that I've just gutted. Well, it's going to be a botanical journal, but I don't know. It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, and it might just end up as anything. So I'll gut it, and then I'll see what size pages I need, and we'll go from there. Now I'm hoping that my little one that I've got just there is going to have lots of wording on it. Kind of like a lucky dip, really, isn't it? Let's have a look. If we can undo it. Yes, we can, and yes, it does. Has a little bit anyway. Right, which will be not in the centre, which is good, so I can pop something in there. Right. Oh, yes, I'm liking the pink one. So, do we pop... Let's just do an altered button and some of those stamen and have a look. How's that looking? Right, little altered button. Pop that glue in. So I only want a really tiny one, don't I? Because this one's smaller. So we'll pull out the buttons. I need to do some more. I'm running low. If you haven't done altered buttons before, I have a video doing them. Just a quick video showing you how to do these sorts of ones. So one of these little ones might work. I don't know how many other little ones I've got there. Oh, here's a pretty colour. I might go that one. What about that? That looks quite nice. I'll pop some stamen in it just to show you. So, these are stamen. They've usually got ends. You'll get them different sizes, different colours, etc. What I tend to do is I will fold them in half for buttons. I'll grab 2 or 3. We'll make it a nice full flower. And that one. Yeah. Yep. Now this button only has 2. Let's see if I can fit all 3 of those down in one. Like so. And we'll grab another couple. And we can make some long, some short, and go from there. Alright. Squash them down a little bit more, Kylie. So what we've ended up with, how's that? Okay, and that'll sit in there. So what I want to do is I will chop off the other ends of those. Just space them out. Get the normal scissors. Sorry, just going over there so that they chop off over there. Alright, and then I tend to use my fabric glue or my 450 glue because they're a stronger bond. So all I've done is spread that out around there. Let's use this one if I can undo it. All right. Wait for him to come in. Coming down. Yeah. All right. Ugh. And then that one, I'm just going to flatten those a little bit. Pop that on the centre. Then once it dries, I can move all these guys back up. Kind of in the centre. Move my stamen over. Sorry, finger caught. How's that? So I like that in a pink actually. When I got that one, this pattern, and I brought it home, and I went, oh, it's pink. What am I going to do with pink one? But let's have a look on a book. Oh yeah, I quite like that one. So, very quick and easy. How are those? Can you see those? I'll move my buttons out of the way. got that one, you got that one. Yes, you can see those. Do we like those? They're so quick and easy. They're one of those things that you can do whilst watching YouTube, you know, where we sit there and we watch everybody and we're working still at the same time and they're on and we can look up and do things, but without having to really concentrate on what we're doing so that we can listen. They're one of those sorts of things. I'm really happy with those. I hope you enjoy them. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Thanks for subscribing for those of you that have subscribed to me. It's very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Thank you all also for everybody that leaves a comment, for hits that like button. It's just makes me feel very warm inside that you're all enjoying what I'm doing and coming along on this journey with me. So thank you all so much. And until next time, bye. Happy crafting.